Right. Four of Cups, Taurus, who's feeling stuck? Now, when we feel stuck, when we feel blocked, and I posted this on Instagram today, it's so interesting. I always say this, you know, the reading for the sign whose season it is, so it's Taurus season. That affects everyone. We all have access to that energy in some way or form, and we use the energies as tools, right? So have a look at her. Now, usually in the Four of Cups, the person is contemplating the Three Cups that are in front of them. She's not. She's turned her back on them. A lot of back turning here. And overall, what I'm getting from this message is about knowing what you don't want. Now, what are you going to go for instead? That's the key thing here. Now, she's turned her back to those Three Cups. Those Three Cups can represent the Three of Cups, which are relationships of support. People that we support and love. Have they been supporting and loving us? So some of that comes in, but cups are always about our emotions, our intuition, our spirituality, those kinds of things. She wants that cup. She wants the Ace of Cups, but she doesn't see it. She doesn't see it. So the core message of the Four of Cups is where we're bored, where we feel stuck, where it's like same old, same old. Some of you might be feeling that, you know, I know what I don't want. I know where I don't want to be. I just don't know where to go, Jay. I don't see the options, or, you know, this is where people usually come up to me and say, I need a miracle. I need a miracle. Or I just need a break somewhere. I just need one win to show me which way to go. So for some of you, it is that in depth. For others of you, it's just like, man, I'm bored. It's just feeling kind of bored with the situation. Now, if she stood up, she went to the side a little bit or did whatever, she might notice that there's not 4 flowers in front of her. The Ace of Cups that she wants, that new emotional beginning, it's right there in front of her. But it's when we consider options that don't serve us, when we're spending our time around people that they're not even our tribe. They're not really our tribe. We're just treading water, right? Socially or emotionally. Now, you have coming up with this, you're stuck because you have the Two of Wands. Now, it's the Two of Wands. It's not the Two of Swords. So that's good. The Two of Swords would be more, I don't know which decision to make. There are options available to you. But are you considering options, Taurus, that don't really serve you? Because think about it. If any of those cups meant anything to you, you wouldn't turn your back on them. You'd grab one of them. You wouldn't turn your back on them. You'd grab one of them. You want a new adventure. You want a new direction. Get used to that. You have Uranus in your sign for the next 7 years. So yeah. So, you know, there's this thing of, I want something new. I want something new. Two of Wands says, you know, there are options available to you, the roads, but if you keep doing what you did, you're going to keep getting what you got. You most definitely don't want to do what you got, because the Four of Cups and the Eight of Cups tells me that. For those of you that I'm reading for, it's not going to be for everyone. But with the Two of Wands coming up, it's saying there is a direction that's available to you. It's a completely new direction, but it's unfamiliar. It's uncharted. You've never been there before. You don't have a map for it. And that can be frightening because there's no guarantees then, right? But the value in that direction is that it is new, and that the promise is there for a new direction. Excuse me. There almost is a sense of, it's not as dramatic as the Tower, and it's not as big as the Star, but it is that kind of energy, somewhere in between that, where you're trying to figure out what your new direction is. It's a bigger purpose. Even though we've got all minor arcana, there's not a single major arcana card that's come up here yet. I will clarify some of this. But it's in the day-to-day. I'm sure that, you know, for the people that this message is for, you're sat there, you're looking at your day-to-day and you're like, what? More of this? Now, at the heart of your reading, and that's what everything revolves around, that's what the focus is on, right? We have the Eight of Cups. She is done. She's done. And I'd always think, you know, it's very simple to put down the Eight of Cups as just, oh, you know, done with this, walking away from a situation. It's not that. It doesn't talk about physically walking away. That might be the outcome. That might be what you decide to do based on the energy of this, how you use this energy. But at its core, what this card talks about is emotionally being done with the situation. I do not want to feel this way anymore. It takes a lot of courage. I see it as a card of progress. Why? Because she has spent a lot of time and energy collecting these 8 cups. Now, it would be so easy to settle. It would be so easy to keep trying to make a square peg fit in a round hole. But she honors herself, and I talk about this in the outro, she honors herself by saying, no, I deserve more than this. Why should I settle for 8 cups when I can have 9 cups? I can have my big magic cup, the 9th cup, and that is my true heart's desire. Now, for some of you, I'm going to say this. I don't feel like you know what your true heart's desire is. There's this kind of, maybe a kind of sense of frustration or spiritual malaise. I will say, you know, this kind of energy of, I don't know. that, what is it that calls to me? So she's going to go, she's off. She's searching for that ninth cup. She's honoring herself, honoring how she feels. That is pretty huge. Some of you might have gone through an epiphany the last few weeks. Remember, this is the past and it's last week, last month, last year, whatever. We have 2 8s here. Now, the 8 coming up here, what it says to me is that, a lot of you did not even face, you have been trying to square that circle, right? Which is, you've been trying to, this is the I can't walk away from this. I can't give up on this. I can't go find something new. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm not educated enough. I'm overly educated. I have too much experience, too little experience, whatever it is, too fat, too skinny. The mind can come up with a billion different reasons for why we can't do something. But this is not about the action part of it. It's the mental trap that we create for ourselves. It's the voice of fear. That's what the 8 of Swords is. The voice of fear. She's not looking, right? She doesn't see an option, but she's blindfolded. That's why. But it wasn't to do, I don't think this was to do with the new path. This is not when you were looking for a new path. This is looking at your situation. Some of you have ripped this off and fully understand how your current situation is making you feel. Whether you've left it or not. I don't see anyone moving forward just yet. I know what you're emotionally done with. You know what you're emotionally done with, what you're not going back to. But there's that question of, where am I going? Where do I go now? So what do I want? If I know what I don't want, what do I want? And it's massive. I kind of feel like that's where the massive part is. Because in considering your options, there is a path available to you, and it's like nothing you've ever done before, Taurus. It's like nothing you've ever done before. And remember this, when I say that to you, because we can be very focused on the external, like what's coming up. Where's the job offer? What's this person going to say to me? Do they love me? Are they going to give me that point? Like, we're focused on the outside. But what actually changes around your options and what becomes available to you is you. It's because you've changed. The way you think's changed. The way you feel has changed. You have changed. Now that's amazing, because when we acknowledge and honor our changes, we do see them roll out. But you're being asked to do something. 6 of Wands. And that's in the present. Have a look. I love this card. I love this depiction of the 6 of Wands. Now, usually it's the guy on the horse, right? He's kind of climbed up there and he's got his victory wreath and he's like, hey, everyone, look at me. It's the parade for the conquering hero when he comes home. That's the 6 of Wands. It's a victory card. It's a card of recognition. It's a card of success. But it's a card of being seen. It's a card of being seen. Now, I'm going to talk about these two together, actually, because that's coming up in the future. If this had come up this way round, right? So let's give you a little tarot lesson, which, it doesn't matter what the card is. It depends where it comes up. And the other cards around it, they change the story. So if that had come up that way, this would be, oh, Taurus, you're hiding in the shadows because of your fears and doubts. Now it's time for you to step out there. Now it's time for you to step out there. But this is not what your reading is saying. They did not come up that way. They came up that way. So this is taking pride in who you are, getting up there, and have a look at them. I always say this when this card comes up. I imagine this scene of like there's a marketplace or something, a bustling marketplace right underneath, at the bottom of this mound that they stood on. And maybe the lion roars, maybe the guy, whistles, and everyone looks up and look at him. He's like, hey, look at me, look at us, look at what we can do. This is taking pride in who you are. I'm enough. Look at what I've done. Look at how much I've achieved in my life. It's time for me to be recognized for that. So I do get this sense of a lot of you being urged. You might not all do it, because that's what the 2 of Wands comes for. It's a choice, right? Free will all the way. I want to be seen. Now, this could be on a very personal level. You're ready to be seen in relationships, acknowledged for whatever you've done, for hanging in there, for doing whatever. At work, it's like, look, I've been passed over for promotion too many times. There's a sense of good old Taurus. There's no more good old Taurus coming up here. Because you're done with good old Taurus. That's the point of this. You're done with good old Taurus. Whenever we get minor arcanas, that's our day-to-day experience. We always have free will and choices on how we use the energies and how we experience the energies that come up. There's a higher and a lower vibration. It happens on a spectrum. There's no just one way that a card comes through. We use it in the way, wherever our vibration is. But having said that, I thought there was something else coming through there. So, having said that, with this is about you taking pride in who you are. You must step up and say, look at me. Do you recognize who you are? Because this is all very, like I said, minor arcana energy. It's your day to day. In your day to day, how are you stepping up? How are you stepping into the spotlight? How are you recognizing what you have been through, your own talents? Because you've not seen everything clearly. It's been that mental trap. And I kind of feel like this is when we run kind of rings around ourselves. We keep telling ourselves we're not enough. This is not that. This is I am enough. And now I'm enough. Now, remember I said the other way around. That's in the shadows. Seven of Swords is taking a risk. Now, what I feel happens is that this option you see in your way from you, when you start putting out that energy, and that's what wands are. Wands are the energy that we put out into the world. It's our creative energy. It's what inspires us. It's what we're passionate about. And you're actually showing those to people now. Yeah, you're done with stuff, but this is who I am. This is what I, how I feel, what I take pride in, what I love about myself, what I have to offer from myself based on what you've done. Six of Wands, right? The card before is the Five of Wands, where you've fought for something. There's been that kind of struggle. You've gone up against challenges and obstacles and stuff. But the Seven of Swords is, I kind of feel like that is what throws you. So it's going to be a bit stop and start, Taurus. That's how the energy is kind of playing out here. It's stop and start. Because you're going to do this step up, if those of you that will do it, because some of you won't, and that's fine. But, with the Six of Wands, an option comes in, and it's totally different. So be prepared to look for those less traveled roads that come up for you, new things, new directions. Even if it's like communicating in a relationship differently, even if it's showing up to work differently, having a different air around you, asking to be acknowledged for stuff that you're not just happy to tinker away in the background. It can play out in a number of ways. But that's where then you think, okay, well, I don't know. Is this a risk worth taking? Is this a risk worth taking? Because that's what the Seven of Swords is. Now, a lot of people see the Seven of Swords as a sneaky energy. It's the thief and the knight, right? It's the liar, cheat, deception card. But think about, what does being sneaky mean? It is a card of scheming. It is a card of planning. Because he has to really kind of figure out, is it a risk worth taking? I don't want to get caught. But please do not do that. Please do not retreat to the shadows, because that's what you're leaving behind anyway. We've got the Eight of Cups above the Seven of Swords. And you've already done this. Because then we have this temptation of going in a loop. Don't forget, we've got the 7. The 8's already happened. And I'm not saying we want the 9 in progression, but we don't want to go back there, which is retreating to the shadows. Because your advice is the 5 of Cups. And I don't feel like this is, telling you to get over it. It's not that. Well, it might be for one or two of you, but it's not that. The 5 of Cups is reminding you. Do you remember all your regrets? Do you remember all those missed opportunities? Do you remember all those times you settled? Because that's what the 5 of Cups is. Regret, missed opportunities, loss, focusing on what's not there. What's not there. And so for some of you, it basically comes down to you don't feel like you have the support to do this. You don't need it. That's the whole point of the 6 of Wands. I can do this. I am that person who's achieved this or gone through this or survived this, whatever it is. And that, as your advice, the 5 of Cups is saying, remember all those regrets, missed opportunities. You don't want to do that again. And you know what? Sometimes we can be faced with stuff. There's never a wrong choice or decision. What it talks about is, at that time, you may not have been ready. You weren't. There was all these fears and doubts. You've overcome so much of that. So why are we retreating to the shadows? Let's get you some clarifiers. A lot of cups. Well, I knew it. I kind of sensed that with the 6 of Wands there. The 5 of Wands comes up there. All right. So 2 5s. What do I call the 5s? Loud and proud, everyone. They are the agents of chaos. I always call the 5s the agents of chaos. Now, we have 4 5s, obviously, in the tarot, well, but not including the major arcana like the Hierophant and stuff. If you look at, the 5 of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles, the 5 of Swords, and the 5 of Wands, that adds up to 20. Now, I see that each one of them as an element of judgment. Judgment is number 20. Judgment is about transformation. That's the dark night of the soul. That's where things get so uncomfortable. We do the review and you're like, screw this, draw a line under it, let it all go. I'm going to go towards something new. I'm transformed. The situation is transformed. And I see every single 5 as a component, as an element of that. So think about it. If this is like, there's that sense of, if it comes up about your old fears and doubts, if it comes up about, oh my God, but I missed out on that, or I regret doing that, that's part of this. That's to show you that you can do something different this time. You're someone new now. You have pride in yourself. The 5 of Wands, like I said, it's healthy competition. It's standing up and showing what you're made of, overcoming obstacles. And, you know, even when things come up in our life, because this doesn't say everything's easy sailing. It isn't. It's for the Five of Wands, it's a 5, Agents of Chaos. But it's showing you that, hey, look, with the Five of Wands, they are challenges to be overcome. There's a sense of, you know, I'm productive and I can do this. And you feel good about yourself for overcoming those challenges. So have a look at that as your advice. Why did you go through all of that if you're not going to get recognized for it now? I know a lot of you, I can almost hear it saying, Jay, what about the Two of Cups? All right. So this is it. It feels risky. Now, I usually talk about the energies of the cards in general, right? So how we can use them, and we all apply them differently to our lives. But when I see a specific storyline, I do say it. So I don't know who this is for. It may just be for one person, but this is your message. Why did you go through all of that? Why did you, for some of you, this is working on yourself. You've been taking time alone. And why did you do all of that, but then still go and hide yourself when you meet someone who does connect with you? It's not about hiding in the shadows. You will get the support that you want. You will get the support that you want. It will be there. But it's holding on to this. And I think that's the key thing for this week. Some of you have already gone through this change. You're coming out with this kind of, yes, I can do this. I'm going to go forward and do something new. I'm stepping into a new me. And yet you wouldn't need to be reminded of this. And this is it feels like a reminder. That's what your advice is. Think about everything you've gone through. Think about everything you missed out on. The regrets that you have. Because what's coming up now is an opportunity to fix that, to go for it, to get the recognition, to be seen, to go in the direction. And it is about going in a different direction. That's why you're being reminded of this, because you're going to need all of that in the direction that you're going. Now, the Two of Cups. The Ace of Cups is where we know what's in our cup, right? That's why that's so important. Every great love story begins with how we love ourselves. And I don't just mean romance. I mean all love. This is where our cup is matched. Our cup is matched. And there is this kind of, it's like a knee-jerk reaction to almost like withdraw into the shadows. You come out, say, hey, I'm here. And then it's like, oh no, you know, because this can be overwhelming. It's a profound connection. It doesn't always have to be romantic. I think for some of you, it is. I think for some of you, you've done so much work on yourself around your relationship issues, around who you are. And you, believe it or not, there is that connection that comes up. And do you see that even in the clarifiers? Where are the major arcanas? Because the massive shifts in your life have happened. Now this is about how you apply those big shifts, how you apply those big changes, how you apply the turns in the road that you've overcome. So yes, this can be a potential romantic partner that comes in. All we know with the Two of Cups is there is a connection here. For some of you, it's that. But generally speaking, the Two of Cups, it can be the support of a friend. It can be the support of, you know, at work, a colleague, a business partner, someone who has the same vision as us, a very deep, profound connection. This person has our back. I had this conversation with my cousin today, very Two of Cups moment I had with my cousin. You know, that I've got your back, don't worry. And we all need that sometimes. But I'm going to say this. I think with the Three of Cups, that might be, I mean, what you've been doing for friends or for your tribe or for your circle. This is one-on-one, deep, profound connection. So either this is someone who will support you out of this, who is like, no, come on, they see you. I feel like someone sees you. It almost feels shy, Taurus. It almost feels shy. That shyness comes in. It's like, oh my God, does this person really see me? Yes, they do. Just remember everything that you went through to get here. So for some of you, that is the purpose. The connection is the point of all of this. For others of you, whatever it is you're trying to achieve, the work, the business, the lifestyle, whatever it is, the inner you, the new you that's coming out, there will be support for you. At least one person is there. But please don't hide in the shadows. That's the key thing here. Please do not hide in the shadows. Right. But Taurus, if I say that, no one puts Taurus in the corner, the only person putting you in the corner is you, because it's asking you to come out. Look at your pattern in relationships. It requires inner strength to recognize that you need to change or modify your behavior. That's the point here. I feel like you have changed and modified your behavior. It's general. It can go both ways. Remember that. But for those people that I'm reading for, and I've started to realize I read for a very kind of select kind of group of people. But those of you that have done the work, and when it comes, you know, there is always that tendency. I say this all the time. The brain works historically. It's going to think back. It's going to think back to, well, remember the last time this is what happened. It goes by the evidence of what has been. it's those wands and it's the cups, the emotions, the inspiration that's going to get you to push forward. It's your heart that's going to come up with new directions to go. But some of you have done that. We don't want to go back there. We don't want those kinds of relationships. We don't want the same regret. Wow. All right. So we got orphaned and we got TikTok. Yeah, this is a lot of brand relationships of support. Romantic, family, friends, business, whatever it is. It's time to bring the new Taurus out to play. So interesting because I talk about this in the outro. Before I recorded any of the videos this time, I did record the outro because I did have a message for everyone. And it is your season that's bringing out this message. So have a look at orphaned. Orphaned is an identity crisis. It's where we feel alone. We no longer fit in, or we just think, these aren't my people. These aren't my people. Now, this can be when we literally have been rejected, right? By other people, sense of rejection. They don't get me. They don't see me. But do you see yourself? And what are you showing the world, Taurus? What are you showing the world? I talked about this last year when I was in one of my first podcast rambles that I recorded. It wasn't the first one, but in one of the first few ones. And I had this thing because I talk about my own journey. I'm on a journey too, right? And I was going through this time of, I just felt like people didn't see me. People didn't see me. And that can be very lonely. It can leave you feeling orphaned, like you're the only person in the world. Like you speak your own language. No one understands what you're saying. And then I realized, Jay, what are you showing the world? They can only see what you show them. And so I vowed to myself that I was going to be even more authentic, even more true to who I am. And that's what orphan says. It says you cannot kind of compromise on who you are, hide your light, dim who you are to try to fit in. It doesn't work. You know that. It just isn't emotionally satisfying. And you might have to go a little way on your own. You might have to leave that group that you're with or whatever it is. But if you commit to yourself, commit to what you want, it comes in. Support comes in. Love comes in. Connection comes in. But only when you honor yourself first, then you will be honored by others. Now, TikTok can be, where we get a sense of, and it might be with this 8 of Cups, but I spent so much time and energy and invested so much time and energy into this. I don't have the time now to go and do something else. Or I want it now. I want it now. I want whatever it is now. This is where we feel the pressure of time, right? TikTok. First of all, I remind everyone of this all the time. All we have is the now. Think about your life. Life is a series of nows. We can remember the past, but it's still the past. And the future, well, I personally, and from everything that I've seen from doing the tarot for over 20 years, is all we have is the now. And there is not that there's nothing beyond the now, but there's everything beyond the now. Every future exists in potentiality, but it's the vibration that you bring to your present. There's always going to be crossroads. There's always going to be forks in the road. You can always course correct. But do you honor yourself in that decision?